Cinema is ruthless. It cares only if you win. The art of rousing conclusions that Kabir Khan perfected with Bajrangi Bhaijaan feels somewhat watered down in Chandu Champion. How much dramatic weight can the spine of a film hold until it collapses? At first there was wrestling, then came boxing, then ripped a war, a disability from a bullet lodged in the spine, and then swimming. The density of drama in the life of India's first Paralympics gold medalist Murlikant Petkar is a challenge that any film writer adapting his story would love to take on. First comes the question of what to edit out of such a prolific life. His attempts at table tennis, javelin, and shot put face the chopper, because Murlikant Petkar did not win in any of these categories. Then is axed love and family, because marriage came after his Paralympics gold and the family remains at a chaste distance from his journey. Cinema is ruthless. It cares only if you win or if the events in your life are somewhat incidental to this grand victory. What it wants is not a portrait of a person, but a portrait of a victory that you can feed off of, be inspired by, see symbolism in, and celebrate in its shadows. It is as tempting as it is myopic. Chandu Champion feels too much and too little at the same time. The film's 2-hour 20-minute runtime keeps returning to a place of loss in order to stage its successes. Murlikant's childhood as a cause and effect efficiency. As a kid on the shoulders of his brother, he sees the rapturous reception that Khashaba Jadhav receives, coming back as independent India's first individual medal winner at the 1952 Helsinki Olympics. He wants to be that, and so lanky, shrill and full of foolhardy force, he falls at the feet of the local Akhada trainer.
मास्टर जी मैं चैंपियन बनूंगा और मेडल लाऊंगा.
Shot in Y, cinematographer Sudeep Chatterjee captures the open landscape without fetishizing its rural beauty. The frames have a sense of air passing through its surface, a rare feat in the clogged visual grammar of our contemporary cinema. Defeating the local leader's wrestler, Murlikant is chased off and runs to the city, joins the army and represents them as a boxer and wins silver, leaving space for the next possible victory, the only next possible victory, that of a gold medal. Each of these three victories, the village, the silver, the gold, is its own three-act structure, each slightly grander, more plump, more unwieldy than the last. There is a frame story set in the police station where an older Petkar is narrating his story to Inspector Sachin Kamble, played by Shreyas Talpade. Because the inspector does not believe him, does not even know of his existence, such is how we have cast our pioneering heroes into the shadows of history. If Kabir Khan's 83 was his attempt at replaying that generation's greatest sports victory for a new generation who have only heard of it as a legend, Chandu Champion is his attempt at bringing out of the shadows a story that no generation took note of, neither Petkar's nor ours. Kartik Aaryan's performance seesaws between his teeth and his eyes, between Sangli and Bandra. Every time he grins, the film's charm dims, but when he's allowed to emote, he brings an overfull force of feeling. His physicality in the boxing episode of the film is so poised and natural, each punch feeling like weight, not air. This is where the film's dramatic and narrative heft is most potently expressed, the pyrotechnic choreography of violence and the choreographed pyrotechnics of life. Paired alongside is Vijay Raz, who plays his mentor and coach. You see Raz's natural screen presence against one that emanates from a spotlight, the kind that sees itself as the fulcral presence of any moment, one that is never allowed to and never allows itself to recede. Take the song Satyanas, the Galti Se Mistake, the Mastoka Jhund of this film, of male camaraderie on the train, all men on their way to becoming Jawans. Kartik Aaryan's presence initially on the sidelines is yanked to the forefront. The teeth flash and the song fades. Sudeep Chatterjee turns that train cabin into a disco with slashed lighting. Chatterjee knows what to do with scale. He ends the song with their silhouettes on top of a train against the light, all jubilant ants. His camera swoops and recedes, and there are long shots of the 1965 Indo-Pakistan War that evoke both awe and despair. It captures the sand floating in the air of an akhada with the same intensity of attention of shadows of marching Jawans falling on the floor. The art of rousing conclusions that Kabir Khan perfected with Bajrangi Bhaijaan feels somewhat watered down in Chandu Champion. The final swim, with Murlikant emerging from each stroke to see an aspect of his past visualized, feels like the film conceding its own failures. It knows that without this reckoning, his victory will not feel like a culmination of his journey, because the journey is so scattered, each fragment on its own orbit. This desire to forcefully wrap a film together comes from the knowledge that the film in fact needs to be wrapped, that too much has been spilt and all that has been spilt has now spread.